Hey guys, welcome back. Hope you're having a great day. Great day for me. Great day for me. Blah, blah, blah. Let's get into it. You guys seen the title, seen the picture. You know what I'm talking about, Khamrah. Um, you might think, well, why are you talking about Khamrah? Here's the genesis of this whole thing and why I've worn it the last 3, 4, 5 days. I can't remember. It's been, at least four, actually. Um, 3.5, 4. Um, the reason I'm talking about is that my buddy, one of my friends from around here, is not into colognes. He wears a couple colognes. He's got a couple recommendations from me in the past that he's really liked. And he goes, I was on the TikToks world. He says, I'm on TikTok. And he goes, he keeps seeing this fragrance video pop up. He said, and I did uh, watched a couple YouTube videos and stuff. And he said, including yours. Thank you. He goes, you really liked it. I said, yeah, it's a nice fragrance. He said, well, I went on the Fragrantica website that you told me about, and he was like, it's like the most popular fragrance, like the number one rated fragrance in the world right now. And I'm like, what? Yeah, because I don't go on Fragrantica a lot, believe it or not. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. And he said, no, it's. So I was like, oh, fuck, so. So I go on Fragrantica and I look and do the search and everything. Sure enough, highest rated fragrance, Fragrantica. And right behind it's Angel Share, which makes sense. And we'll get into that. This isn't really about it being a dupe of Angel Share. This is kind of calmer on its own. And I was like, well, what the fuck is that about? I mean, is it? And I've made some notes, not a script, just things I want to talk about. So if you see me looking down reading, it's just me. Some key things I wanted to talk about. And this video, guys, has the potential to be super long. I don't normally try to do super long videos anymore, but this one might be because I've got a lot to say and I've worn this. I wanted to wear this and actually, let's just get into it. Is it really the best fragrance in the world right now? I mean, it's going up against some real heavy hitters, right? You know, um, Real heavy hitters. Your Invictuses, your 1 millions, your Savages, your Hugo Bosses, your Lamals, uh, Ralph Lauren's Ralph Club. I mean Versace, Arrows, anything YSL, YSL Loam, YSL London, etc., etc. Is it really the best fragrance in the world right now? Geez, I don't know, guys. I don't know. I can't imagine this being the most popular fragrance in the world, or the most highly rated. It's not the most popular, but the most highly rated fragrance in the world right now, with the general public. Fragrantica is more for people like us. There are a few that come over, but mostly it's the vast majority are either ridiculous fragrance guys like me and some of you, or just enthusiasts. Your average person doesn't go to Fragrantica. So I think that skews the number a lot. And also, this isn't available in most stores, to my knowledge. Anyway, you can't walk into your Walmart and buy this, or your Sephora, or your Shoppers Drug Mart, or wherever you get your fragrances. Saks, Fifth Avenue. I don't know. You can't walk in to a store and get this. So you almost have to be looking for it. You almost have to be into fragrances to really want to try it. Now, has TikTok probably got a few of those people to try it? Absolutely. Probably a good percentage of people. Because it's cheap, too, and that's the thing. It's another reason I think it's relatively popular. Because it's cheap, and it doesn't look cheap. It doesn't smell cheap. I mean, the presentation is top-notch. Whether you like it or not, the presentation is top-notch. The bottle is absolutely beautiful. The fragrance itself... Oh, just took off my little cap thing because this thing is so tight. But anyway, the fragrance itself is absolutely gorgeous. Just gorgeous. But is it the best fragrance in the most highly rated fragrance in the world? I don't think so. I can't. I couldn't rate it above most of the YSLs, most of the Savages, most of the Blue de Chanels. For me, it's above stuff like Invictus and everything, but I think for most younger guys, it's not. Um, yeah, I just. But before I rant, let's do some pros and cons of this fragrance. And like I said, I made a few lists as I've been wearing it for the last few days. So, presentation. Like I said, it just looks expensive. Uh, it doesn't. Another pro is it doesn't smell cheap at all. It smells amazing. Performance is beast. Hours and hours and hours and hours. And it's good for the money. The money you can pick this up at the most expensive I've seen is about $50. So you can pick this up relatively cheaply. The cons, it's too sweet. A lot of people think this is too sweet, too strong, hence the hours and hours and hours. Too feminine. Now, let's get into this for a minute. I hear that a lot, too feminine, too feminine. And when I let him try this, I didn't mention that. I let him try this before he was going to go buy it, and he said the same thing. He says he likes it, but it kind of smells like a perfume, not a cologne. He doesn't. I'm like, perfectly fine. That's your opinion. I mean, you're allowed to have it, and I tend to agree. Believe it or not, I think it is it leans. I think it is unisex, but it does lean more feminine. Now, up close on the skin, I find it a little more masculine. You pick up more on the booze and the spice, whereas in the air, it's more of the vanilla and florals. So, I mean, pick a hand, right? Like which one are you gonna? Most people are gonna smell it in the air, though, and that's the problem with it if you're a man, because I find I've had people wear this around me, him included, and it does smell more feminine in the air. The vanilla and florals are pretty prominent in the air. Whereas, like I said, if you get up closer, take a smell, you're picking up more of the boozy, kind of almost a spiced rum kind of vibe, sweet, boozy, and the spices in the woods, you're picking up more of that. So, I mean, it is what it is. You decide, that's your decision. You think it's feminine, fine. If you think it's perfectly unisex, even leading masculine, whatever. Your decision. My nose, most people's noses that have smelled it on, or smelled it on me, and most people I've smelled it on, in the air, it's a little feminine. Up closer, a little more masculine. So, you decide that. And the big one, I think, why this isn't as popular as our Fragrantica bubble, our fragrance bubble seems to make it. Like I said earlier, you can't buy this in stores. Your average person is going to go into a store and buy a fragrance. They want a fragrance, they're going to buy a fragrance. Your average person is going to do a whole lot of research and now again, has TikTok influenced a few people? YouTube? Absolutely. Instagram? Absolutely. That's what they do. That's why it's influencers. But not enough to make it the most highly rated popular fragrance in the world. Come on now. Again, going up against just and some old school heavy hitters too that still sell like crazy. Aqua de Gio, Cool Water, Jacquard Noir. I mean, Calvin Klein Eternity is always on top 10 selling lists. I mean, is it selling? Is it higher rated than all them? No. And that's kind of my rant on it. I can't. I think it's more just people in the community are rating it high, which they should. Like I said, I enjoy it very much. I wouldn't rate it higher than a lot of fragrances. Again, I keep bringing up Sauvage, any Sauvage, up from EDT all the way to Elixir, any Blue de Chanel. I think the Hugo Bosses are better. That Polo Cologne Intense is better. John Varvatos Artisan Pure is better. Geez, I can keep going. Maison Mahan, you know what I'm talking about. Replica. Jazz Club, Whispers in the Library, By the Fireplace, all better fragrances. But not heads and shoulders above them, but they are better than this. That being said, like I said, this is really good, so it tells you how good those ones are, right? So let's get into the other thing that I mentioned is the Angel Share Dew. Is it a clone? I think it's a more inspired by fragrance than a clone. I smelled Angel Share recently at Sephora. We just got it here a few months ago. And while they're similar, there's some differences. Angel Share definitely, to my nose, and some people are going to nail me to the cross for this, is a lot more feminine. It doesn't have the same amount of boozy spiciness. It has some, but this is just more boozy and spicy and has a nice wood base. This is more masculine than even Angel Share. Well, they smell similar. Yes, nobody's going to deny that, I don't think, anyway. This is the better fragrance. And it performs as well, if not a little better than Angel Share. So, again, that's for you to decide, though. I mean, I think it's an acceptable alternative to Angel Share, but not a replacement. It's the best way to say it. And like I said, it's just got a really nice, up close, that spiced rum and woods, you know, very nice, very nice. But the two, like I said, I think I've already mentioned, the two big reasons uh, that I can't imagine it being the most popular fragrance. Maybe the highest rated. Maybe, sure, why not? You know, because the people rated it, like I said, are like you and me, right? For the most part. But most popular, no, the big thing is you can't go into a store and buy this. You know what I mean? You can't just walk into your Walmart and try this and buy it if you like it. It's just not a thing. And most normal people, 99.9% of the population, don't buy decants. They're not looking for a decant. You know, they're going to walk into a store and what they have, they're going to pick the best thing they like and walk out with it. End of story. Transaction over. Blah, blah, blah. Whatever. So, and the second thing I don't think it would be like the best fragrance is, for me personally, it's very situational. You know, I wore it this week, and luckily this week has been a foggy, kind of cooler. You know, today was the first day that it was really hot in pretty much this whole week. And this was a little too much today. And I didn't apply much of it either. I went with one in my moisturizer, one on the back of my neck. That was it through the whole 4 or 5 days. And it was okay in the cooler, foggy, rainy, misty kind of weather. But in today's heat, it was just, even that amount was cloying. So it's very situational. If you live in a high tempered climate, you know, Texas, LA, places like that, I don't know when you'd ever wear this. Honestly, you can, of course, like I said, but I just couldn't imagine. And even in the winter, it's not for me personally, it's not a casual scent. You know, it's not something I'm just going to spray on when I'm going to the store. It's not even something I'm going to spray on going to a special occasion. It's more of an outdoorsy or a club kind of fragrance. I don't want to put this in a clubbing fragrance. It's not a clubbing fragrance, but just that sweet, strong, pleasing kind of smell. It works better in places like that than it does, you know, at church. You know, so, or funeral. For God's sakes, don't wear this at somebody's funeral. That's just disrespectful. So yeah, I mean that's really it, guys. I just, you know, it just boggles my mind that this is rated higher than all those every other heavy hitters. I just it's not better than Sauvage Elixir. It's not better than Hugo Boss Elixir. It's not better than in the same vein, the fireplace, by the fireplace. You know, it's not better than that. It's not better than Stronger with You. You know, they're kind of on par with each other. You know, so. And another thing, like I said, it's hard, is people can't test it. People like to try to spray, just go and smell something before they buy it, most people. And yeah, sure, you can buy a decant, but again, normal people don't buy decants. And decants are expensive, especially if you do the per milliliter. And you pick this up for $40 and people are charging, you know, $10 for a 5 mil. You know, spend the extra money, get a 100 ml bottle. If you don't like it, then you can decant it out and make your money back and then some, right? It is cheap, so if you did want to blind buy it without testing it first, like I said, you're not going to be out any money, and you can make your money back one way or the other, or most of it anyway. But would I recommend it is the thing too. Yes, I would. I'd recommend it to if you like sweets, gourmand, very situational fragrances. But not if you're looking for an everyday wear or something, or office wear, work wear. No, I wouldn't recommend it for that. It's very, to my nose, it smells delicious. It's incredible. It is not the best fragrance out there. I said it wouldn't even make my top 10. I don't know if it would make my top 20. It would make my top 10 of Lattafas, absolutely. But probably be number one, to tell you the truth, or damn well close to it. But there's just so much out there. It actually boggled my mind when he told me that, and I went and looked. I was like, no, that can't be. And then I found out through him and doing a little research online that it's basically TikTok. TikTok has made this thing super desirable, I guess. And I see a lot of people too getting it and not liking it. So, like I said, it's that type of fragrance, you know. It's not the type. And when I say a lot of people, I don't mean people like us. Again, we're into fragrances. It's your average guy or girl, mostly guys though, that buy this, and they're used to stuff like, a lot of them are used to stuff like Cool Water, Aqua di Gio, La Mall, you know, all those classics they've been wearing for 20 or 30 years. And they buy this thinking they're getting something great, and they spray it on, and it completely, no, wow, that's not for me at all. That's kind of gross, actually. And I can see that if that's what they're used to. Or maybe they're used to Sauvage, Bleu de Chanel, a little more newer guys, Invictus, and they spray this on. No, this is a completely different scent than any of those. By 360, I mean, you 180, I mean, you just turned around completely. Boom, gone. You are not getting the same scent as them. And that's the problem, is your average everyday person, especially male, is not going to identify with this scent. It's just not. It's not something. They're going to like it. They're probably going to like it on a woman, but they're not going to want to wear it. So I can't imagine it's as popular as Fragrantica, the community, makes it out to be. You know what I mean? I just can't imagine. But tell me what you think, guys. Do you think I'm wrong? Do you think maybe everybody in the world does have this and likes it? But I mean, from what I've seen, a lot of people don't like it. Or they just can't wear it. And I understand that, because like I said, for me, it's pretty situational, and I wear a lot of stuff. So, yeah, so tell me what you think, guys. Do you think it's feminine? Do you think it's masculine? Do you think it's unisex? Do you think, like I do, in the air it's a little feminine, up close it's a little more masculine? Do you think it's situational? Do you think it's too strong? Do you think it's too sweet? Do you think it's just sweet enough, just strong enough? Or do you think it's weak, which I wouldn't understand, but okay. Do you like the presentation? I think it's gorgeous. I don't like that cap, like I said, pain in the ass, but it is what it is. So, yeah, tell me what you think, guys. Do you think it's worth the money? All that stuff. I'd like to hear it. And you know, what do you think about it being right now? As of this video, this could change tomorrow, and if you're watching this years later, probably is. But as of right now, July 15th or 16th, I can't remember the date, 2024, this is the most popular fragrance rated on Fragrantica right now. Lattafa's going to be making a killing, though. And it also goes to show you how these companies, YSL, Dior, Chanel, how much they actually make on a fragrance, because Lattafa's making a killing on this. And I'm pretty sure, as popular as this is on Fragrantica, Sauvage is outselling this by 100 to 1 still. And pennies, man. Pennies. Maybe $1, including marketing, packaging, shipping. Maybe $1. They're paying $1 per bottle. Once you do all the math and everything and the purchases, it costs them $1 a bottle. And they're charging you $150, $200. You know, pennies. So, if Lattafa's making money off of this, because this is not cheap ingredients. I don't care what anyone says. This does not smell cheap. This is quality ingredients on par with most of your top end designers, and they're selling it for 40, 50 bucks and making a killing. This place of Savat or Dior and YSL and all of them did that too, wouldn't it? Wouldn't that be great? You're not going to. All right, guys. Comment away. Have fun in the comments. Don't be a dick about anything to anybody. Just have fun in the comments. I'm looking forward to reading some of them. All right, guys. Peace, love, be good to each other, and be good to yourselves.